Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Independence Day celebration, and a special welcome to our guests of honor, the President of Malta, Her Excellency Mary Louise Calero-Preca, and the Honorable Foreign Minister George Vella and Mrs. Vella. Now I'd like to introduce your hosts for the evening, Her Excellency G. Kathleen Hill, Ambassador of the United States of America to Malta. Ambassador Hill now will give her remarks.
President Calero-Preca, Foreign Minister Vella, Mrs. Vella, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, welcome to our Independence Day celebration. The theme of this year's event is American Flavors. We invite you to experience some of the diverse flavors of the United States at our food tables. Our culinary diversity reflects the rich diversity of ethnic backgrounds that make up the United States. In 1776, the country's founders recognized that the fragile alliance of states that made up the early United States would thrive only if it could unify its diverse and at times conflicting religious and ethnic groups into a new collective national identity. Thanks to its fundamental openness, the United States today is among the most culturally and religiously diverse countries in the world. American citizens are free to practice their religion, give voice to their views, and use their creative energies to pursue their personal aspirations. The result is a dynamic marketplace of ideas where all have the right to express themselves as long as they are respectful of others' views. In a world where many countries are experiencing increasing diversity, there is a lesson in the forging of the American identity, embodied in the Latin words inscribed on the seal of the United States, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. If America is a rich example of diversity, the question can be asked, what exactly is American food? To some, the simple answer would be hamburgers, hot dogs, and French fries. Although we have to acknowledge that the Belgians invented the French fries, and the Americans just perfected them, and the French just take the credit. To others, American food is the product of our rich farming heritage, fresh foods prepared lovingly by chefs who purchase directly from nearby farms. Whether it's hot dogs or microgreens, it is difficult to isolate a specific cuisine that embodies the United States as a whole. American cuisine is a spectrum of influences from the traditions of Native American cuisine to the dishes of many immigrants, including Maltese, who came to the new land with a wealth of culinary heritage. Many beloved dishes within the culinary lexicon of American cuisine, be they spaghetti and meatballs or Tex-Mex burritos, are clear appropriations of food that has its origins in other countries. As you travel across the country, you discover the seafood-focused dishes of New England, the hearty European-influenced fare of the Midwest, the Southern soul food so deeply embedded with the flavors of Africa, the Mexican heartiness of the Southwest, and the Asian influences of the West Coast. Toss in a dose of creativity and a sparkle of business smarts, and you have the recipe for our dynamic food culture, one that has produced a vibrant cuisine and a growing dedication to making delicious, wholesome food an integral part of a sustainable food system. The topic of food in the United States is a metaphor for the integrating melting pot that constitutes our country. Communities, for instance, like Monterey Park, California, use Independence Day celebrations as an opportunity to introduce its newest citizens to the rest of the community and welcome them to town in a celebration of diversity. Across the United States, Maltese American communities host events that keep alive Maltese traditions and bring a little bit of Malta to America. Every year, in a picturesque park in San Francisco, the Maltese Cross Foundation of California organizes an Imnaria picnic. Attendees play traditional Maltese games, including bocce, which fascinates young and old onlookers alike. Maltese cuisine is also a very important part of these celebrations. After all, a festa is not a festa unless pastizi, fennec, hasatat, and timpana are on the menu. Traditions are an important part of our heritage and must be kept alive with pride and joy generation after generation. And yet there is always space for cultures and traditions to mix and blend harmoniously. This is the case among Maltese communities in the United States, Canada, Australia, and elsewhere. As we celebrate our American diversity, I'd like to thank the U.S. companies represented here this evening who helped make tonight's event possible. Their sponsorship is giving us the opportunity to highlight for you a little bit of what is unique about our home. The presence of U.S. companies around the world signifies the robust global trade that allows them to promote their products and services worldwide. Here in Europe, the U.S. government is committed to a successful and mutually beneficial transatlantic trade and investment partnership known as TTIP. TTIP is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to expand the strong cultural, political, and economic ties between the United States and the European Union. We live in a world that is changing rapidly due to emerging markets, rising powers, and new technologies. The United States and the EU account for nearly half of that world's GDP and 30% of world trade, generating an estimated goods and services trade flow of about $2.9 billion a day. For this reason, the United States and the EU should be the ones to set the rules of the road, building on our commitment to strong labor rights, enforceable environmental protections, food that is safe for everyone, and intellectual property rights that encourage entrepreneurship. Malta has a vital role to play in the negotiations to secure a positive agreement. My colleagues and I stand ready to support Malta's roles in these negotiations and our bilateral commercial relationship. We are very, very pleased to have you all here this evening. We are also proud to be hosting the U.S. Air Force Europe's band, 5 Star Brass, that will perform popular jazz and rock tunes in a few minutes. I wish you all an enjoyable evening. Now I would like to invite President Kathleen Preka and Minister Vella and Mrs. Vella to join me in a toast. To our continued cooperation in meeting global challenges, to the friendship between Malta and the United States, and to the health and well-being of the President and the people of the Republic of Malta. Cheers.